We've come down in Percy to Wales for a few days away. We're in a place called Saundersfoot, which is near Tenby. Yesterday we had a walk around Tenby and had a walk to Tenby, which was a bit up and a bit down.
Oh, it was.
It's just a 3 or 4 mile walk, but blimey, it tested our legs.
It did.
So today we've come out and done a couple of miles to Saundersfoot, and it's quite pleasant here, isn't it?
It's, I don't know, neither of us had been to Tenby. You hear a lot about it. You see pictures of all the coloured houses, and it looked really quaint, but it was actually quite busy.
Very busy.
And the little side alleyways and some of the side streets were chock-a-block, and you couldn't get down them. And we got a bit frustrated. And the whole reason that we've come away was we were feeling a little bit hemmed in. We've just not settled down properly after Crick, have we?
No.
And just decided that we'd get away for a couple of days.
It's been a bit mad, so yeah, we're really enjoying it. We're on a campsite that's a bit busier than we wanted, but it's really quiet, and it's quite pleasant. The views are lovely when the sea mist disappears. But yeah, we're having fun, really enjoying it.
We only decided to come away on Sunday morning and or Sunday midday, and came away on Monday morning, so it was all very last minute. And this is actually the first trip that we've had in Percy properly since probably last autumn.
Yeah.
Apart from to go to Crick Boat Show, and we've really enjoyed it. Just wanted to go somewhere that we knew we had all the facilities, because we've not got him cleaned up and ready to camp really. But he might have a little bit of a stay of execution because we are enjoying it.
Yeah, we have enjoyed getting away in him, haven't we? It's been a nice break. There are quite a few of these steps on the route to Tenby, and pretty challenging on the old legs they are.
We started off with an overcast day, but that was just perfect to start our walk. Archie just cannot resist a little bit of water, perfect for a mid-walk drink for him. But little did he know that just around the corner we were able to get down on this beach for him to have a paddle, maybe a little swim. And if you want a little break, this place is available to hire an apartment, and you've got the beach almost to yourselves, apart from the odd intrepid walkers.
Here we are at the beautiful town of Tenby with its gloriously long beach, and sadly dogs are not allowed on there during the summer months. Down came the rain, so we decided we'd grab a bite to eat and head home. Well, it's 7:30 in the morning. We're back from our trip to Wales, and so we're down here to get some work done before it gets too hot. The next few days are going to be temperatures in excess of 30 degrees centigrade, 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's going to be too hot to spend a whole day down here. So we're just going to do what we need to do in a couple of hours and get home and edit this video. You turn your back for 5 minutes and the weeds are up here, so there's lots to be done, so we better get on with it, otherwise nothing's going to be done. All the beans are doing really well. This one's climbed to the top of this teepee already. And our little archway there, they've all climbed up really well here too. So they're looking really good, looking really strong. Fran fed them the other day with a liquid seaweed feed. And I've still yet to support this even more. So put some supports in there at each corner, but it still needs supporting a bit more because it is a bit flim-flam. But hopefully next year we might be able to buy a proper arch that can stay here forever. It's beautiful. The bees are absolutely loving these poppies. So we've left another parsnip to flower. They're just fantastic. And they would look good in a garden setting, not just on an allotment. But we're intending to keep the seeds of these and test them out for viability. But hopefully they'll be fine. No sign of Mr. Frog in the pond this morning, but he's usually around when we come down. We usually see him, or her, don't know which it is. I've got a bit of blanket weed there, that needs coming out. But yeah, the pond's been really successful. To have a frog in there within the first few months is brilliant.
Well, the polytunnel is coming on really well. Everything is growing so lush and so quickly. The tomatoes are climbing up and we've got little baby fruits just beginning to grow. The odd few last remaining lettuces need to come out. But the star of the show at the moment is these padron peppers. And Rich is telling me that I've got to make them into a Spanish delicacy. I need to find the recipe first. It's really lovely to be down here this time of day. We still haven't got here as early as we wanted. About 5 o'clock would suit me, but it is hard to get out of bed. But this is just gorgeous. There's only one other person around. We have seen a rabbit, which is a bit of a worry because we haven't got rabbit-proof fencing around our plot. But so far, there doesn't seem to be any damage from him. Yeah, hopefully Archie might leave a few cents around and keep him away. But we're harvesting so much, picking so much, we're inundated with flowers, and we've just got to work out what we're going to do with all this stuff now. But I've got tomatoes to tie up now and cut before it gets too hot to take all the side shoots out, keep them growing strong, and we'll go as long as we can before we retreat to the shade of the boat. We're also making use of this area behind the shed, which gets full sun for most of the day. We've planted a line of tomatoes, some sunflowers, and these lovely sweet peas. This one is cupani, which is a real old-fashioned sweet pea with the most gorgeous scent.
And where we're not growing stuff, we're just happy to let nature take its course.
We're using the chop and drop method for weeding, which means you pull the weeds out and drop them on the surface in between the plants that you want. This not only feeds the plants, but it keeps the moisture in the soil. And sowing season is still not over, so we make use of our coffee break to sow a few more plants for later in the year.
For the last couple of weeks or so, we've been digging up the new potatoes, and boy, are they tasty.
And still still the broad beans come, but we've not yet got sick of them. We're using them in salads, on toast. There's endless recipes for them. And this is Swiss chard, one of my favourites. The leaves can be taken off the stalks and used as spinach, in curries, in quiches, in pastas, and the stalks can also be fried.
Here we are back on our original plot. Not as productive as last year because we've been spending a lot of our time getting the new plot up and running and productive. But it's important that we use these allotments. They've been given to people for hundreds of years to grow their own vegetables, and if they're not used, invariably they'll get built upon, new housing estates put on them, and that is a crying shame. So if you fancy having a go at allotmenting and growing your own veg, approach your local allotment association. They often have smaller plots that you can use, or they'll divide up bigger plots just so the plots are actually being cultivated. The white flower here is a carrot. We left it in the ground last year so it can flower and we collect the seeds for next year's carrots. And next to it is a parsnip. And the pollinators absolutely love them.
It's a baking hot day, but it's okay because this is a cool job. And I'm making the warp now for the next shawl, and these are the threads that run longitudinally through the loom, and then I can weave into them. And I'm using 3 different kinds of cotton in slightly different shades of white and cream, just to keep this really neutral, but they have to be run up and down here and crossed over, and I've got 6 meters of thread on each run, and I'm doing, I think, 180 runs. So you can do the sums. It's a lot of thread. I think it's, I don't know, it's kilometers. I don't know what it is, but yeah, 6 meters times 180. Keep going. And the next process is to get each of those 180 threads onto the loom, each kept in order, no crossing over, and it's a very slow, time-consuming process. You need lots of patience and ideally a good podcast to listen to. This is the most difficult part to do on a tiny narrowboat. Once the loom is threaded, I need to stretch the warp out as far as I can so that I can tie it on all evenly. There's quite a lot of clambering about goes on at this stage. And finally, the weaving can begin. Because I've taken such a lot of time on spacing the warp threads, I'm keeping the weaving really simple. This is all mohair and I'm just playing with textures rather than colours, just to keep it simple.
There ain't no way I would have that patience. Anyway, well done, Fran. And thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Ta-ra now.